Hey, I'm Steven, the co-founder of Exponent, and today I'm going to talk about bootstrapping a business. Exponent is a fully bootstrap business, which means that we've taken zero outside VC investment. The entire company was built out of our own money. In fact, I remember very early on Venmo charging my co-founder Jacob about $100 to incorporate the business. That was all we ever put into the business. Now, while it's been a challenging journey to grow a business, it's also been incredibly rewarding to grow it as a bootstrap business. Really, what this means is that in the early days, we were really testing out what we could sell and what revenue we could generate in order to grow the business. This has made our company much more sustainable than you might think of a VC company, which is focused on pure growth as much as possible and not as much on the actual end users and having a monetization strategy. Now, for instance, in all industries, this doesn't necessarily work, but in technology, bootstrapping is very, very possible and doable. So obviously, bootstrapping a company involves a lot of rigor in the early stages because you have to find ways to generate revenue quickly and easily and test those hypotheses quickly. This ability to test hypotheses and verify if your business model is going to work is really, really important in bootstrap businesses, and I think develops rigor later on. One early story that is really sort of interesting about Exponent's growth is that in the very beginning, we knew we wanted to build a course when we were just doing product management. We wanted to build a product management course, but we weren't sure how to validate that it would be worth building out this tech platform and then we put the course online and all the content would work and all that sort of stuff. And so what we did is we wrote a series of about 8 lessons. These were product management interview prep lessons. These were condensed from all the coaching sessions that I had done. And we took all those lessons and put them in a PDF, and I emailed a list of 100 people that I knew. These were people that I had connected with from blogging and from other things like that. I emailed them saying, hey, we're selling this for $8. I picked really, really low price, just wanted to see if people would be interested. Didn't have a payment processing tool, was just using Venmo at the time, but emailed them saying, hey, we have this PDF, would anyone like it for $8? And we had about 3 people be interested in that. And it was, not that much, but 3 out of 100 wasn't so bad. And that was a really helpful initial signal to early on validate that this was an opportunity for us. And then later on, of course, we built a course platform and we used that same listserv and leveraged those people as early adopters and gave them grandfathered in lifetime access to our platform and to our membership. And so it just goes to show that, when you're bootstrapping, you can kind of find these creative, innovative solutions to things that actually test hypotheses and test your ability to make revenue really quickly and easily. One of the most common concerns or questions that I get about being a bootstrap company is asking whether or not we're resource constrained. And while this is certainly true, it's also true of VC-backed startups. In fact, I think that the rigor that we've developed over the course of the growth of Exponent, in the very early days, we maybe couldn't afford the nice shiny new tools, or we maybe couldn't spend money on 10 new hires immediately. That's actually made us more deliberate and thoughtful in our growth. We hire only when we need to, and we make sure we invest in the right resources and being frugal where appropriate. The resource constraintness is actually a feature, not a bug, of bootstrapping a business. Another common concern that I get is, how can you be a big name in the space? You need to have VC money in order to be prominent or to be successful, especially if you're marketing to a lot of different people. People won't trust your brand. In fact, we've found that it's very possible to build a really solid brand without VC investment. And it's actually unclear to me what VCs would have offered. We partner with top tier universities like Stanford and Yale and Wharton to help the students there get into their dream jobs. And that's been an amazing branding opportunity that we worked on ourselves. We've also developed a really prominent YouTube channel where we've put out a ton of awesome content that really helps people grow, and people have fallen in love with our brand from the content that we produce. And so I'd really argue that the content has been what has really helped us grow and the awesome product experience that we've built. And our laser focus on that instead of fundraising or instead of finding outside investment has actually been a huge asset for us. Another common question is, don't you need a bunch of advice from investors in growing a business? Like, how can you know what to do, or how do you develop yourself? And I am definitely agreeing with the fact that I do need mentors and advisors. What I disagree with is that it has to be from VCs. In fact, I have a bunch of rotating mentors that I use on a regular basis where I have calls scheduled with them, or I email them or text them for advice. And it has been so helpful and successful for me and for my personal development, as well as for the company. But I have developed those relationships on my own. And because of that, I think that they're actually stronger and more connected outside of a financial relationship. I find that these mentors will probably be with me for the rest of my life. And I'm so grateful and thankful that I've had the opportunity to develop these relationships to accelerate both my growth and the business's growth. I guess at the end of the day, one thing that I've noticed is that it hasn't been that noticeable that we're not VC backed. We've been able to grow at similar rates. We've been able to help our users and our customers. And we haven't had to kind of give away ownership. And that ownership piece has been really, really helpful. I think it empowers our team to have more ownership and responsibility of our company, our product, and our direction, as well as for myself and my co-founder, Jacob. We can make more choices and decisions that are independent of what a VC might expect of a 5-year return in a certain timeline or with a certain amount of money. In fact, I often see VC-backed companies exploding where they invest so much money and fuel so much money into their growth that they often forget about their users or their team, or they often have to hire quickly and then fire very quickly. And I totally think that VC-backed businesses are an awesome model. And I could even imagine that some of my friends or even myself later in my career might start a VC-backed business. But I would say that the VC model is not the only one. And so the hope of this video is that you understand that there are trade-offs associated with starting a VC-backed business or starting a business that has invested money versus starting a bootstrap business. And personally, I found that starting a bootstrap business has given me the autonomy, the control, and really the ability to think thoughtfully about how to build a sustainable, monetizable business from day one.